toward that. And most of us have suffered under bad teaching that somehow we get this idea, we get this vision, and somehow we think that God is just going to drop it in our spirit. I'm going to get a house. I'm going to get a car. I'm going to get a husband. I'm going to get a wife. I'm going to get money. I'm going to get finances. I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to get a promotion. And then we think that the responsibility from us is dormant. But that's not the case. God is inviting you into a co-creator relationship with him. What does that mean? That means that you've got to take up the initiative with the gifts that he's given to you and put a plan in place, and watch this, and stick to the plan. Now, the plan may not always evolve the way that you want to. But you can't walk into a door if you don't know what you're going to do when you get through the door. You can't wait till the door is open. You got to be ready for the door to be open. And that's engineering vision for your life. Watch this. And I don't want to make this so heavy that it's just about for your life, but that's also true for every experience that you have. For those of us who were waiting on pins and needles for the new bill to come out for health care. I thought it was going to be double what it was. They took away the subsidy, et cetera, where the bill came. And I had prepared if it was one thing. But the bill came, and the bill wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was the same as it was before. One, because in the interim, Connecticut, the state that I live in, stepped in to provide subsidies to undergird so that the increase wouldn't be high like that. See, God working out things, and though you have a plan, and though you plan, it doesn't mean that you plan God out of it. You plan God in it, because I had the expectation that whatever happened, it was going to work out. But I was ready to work and co-create with God what was necessary. And listen, let me tell you this. I don't want you to be misunderstood about this. God had already done his part, Missy. God had already done his part. God had already put everything in place. The question is, Deacon Prescott, are we in the right position? Y'all remember the sermon of the Sunday before Christmas? At the right place and at the right time. And that's what your planning, Professor Brian, does for you. It positions you to be in the right place at the right time. And that's engineering vision. And that's responsible. That is being responsible for the promises, for the abundance, for the life and life more abundantly that Christ died so that you and I can have, regardless of whether we deserve it. Woo! See, that's enough to shout right there. And so as we move this year in being high and lifted up, diligently pursuing that which God has declared for our lives, we gotta get a plan. And where does that vision lie? Well, I'm glad you asked. That's what I'm going to preach about today at 8 o'clock, and tune in at 10 o'clock, and later on at 12 o'clock, and then later on at 5 o'clock. The first, God dropped me in this text, Habakkuk. Habakkuk is part of the minor prophets, Missy. People may not even know it, probably can't pronounce it, probably had a hard time if you're still using a hardcover Bible to even find it. But those with the electronic Bibles, y'all got cheat sheets. All y'all got to do is scroll and go to it. You just got to determine whether it's in the Old Testament or the New Testament. Am I telling the truth? But before, when the hard copy, you got to figure out where it is. It's in them all them little books there, nailed Nahum and Jonah and Amos and Zephaniah and Zechariah and all that kind of, and you got to figure out where it is. That's Habakkuk. Habakkuk was not no minor kind of person, even though he's lumped into the books of minor prophets. It's just because they had smaller books. Habakkuk was a major prophet and not one of the false prophets of the children in Babylon. They had been in Babylon. And they had been under the rule of an unjust king and an unjust system, in particular to them. But that system and that change, transition, died, overthrown. A new administration had come. And people were looking and expecting justice now. God has moved what was a thorn in our flesh. And so now we can go forth thorn free. But what's this missing? The Neo-Babylonian kingdom was worse than the one before. Ooh, anybody ever been there? You done pray to the Lord get you out of something, and the Lord delivers you, finally delivers you. And then after a few rising of the suns and setting of the same, this thing looked worse than it did before. Come here, children of Israel. We've been praying for God to deliver us for 400 years. Missy, do you hear me? I ain't said 400 minutes or 400 seconds, but 400 years.